Welcome to the Becoming Sound podcast, where we dive into the tough stuff and try to find the humor in the hot mess of being an adult child. Join me as we peel back the layers on growing up in dysfunction, navigating substance abuse, mental health challenges, and everything in between.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Becoming Sound podcast. This is a little segment that we do once a month called Oversharing with Shannon, me.
Yeah.
And I've never introduced us before, but what the hell? Here we
That's
are.
right.
I'm introducing us. This is Krista.
I'm Krista, by the way.
Krista's podcast. The reason we changed it up a little bit today is because today is actually what, Krista?
It is my 1-year birthday of the Becoming Sound podcast.
Eek! Congratulations.
Yes. To celebrate, we actually got away on a girls' weekend.
Yes.
So we're in Sylvan Lake, Alberta.
Yeah, coming to you live from the No-Tell Motel.
Exactly. So I couldn't think of a better way to celebrate, and this is what we do to celebrate. So we're excited to be here, and I'm so excited about my 1-year birthday. I have to admit, this is probably one of the things that I've been most passionate about. And so I've just plowed through all the fears, all of the doubt, all of the stuff that I think, oh, it's not going to work, or what if people don't listen, and all of that stuff. And I kept going, and now I'm at my 1 year, and I'm so excited that I actually stuck it out because I love what I'm doing. So
totally.
Yeah.
I remember before all of this, we used to talk about podcasts and,
yeah,
and jokingly talk about, we should do one where we just review TV shows we watched or movies or whatever. But then, Krista actually did it. I do a lot of talking. I don't do a lot of follow through.
a lot of mouth action.
Not a follow through gal. No, Krista is a follow through gal, and this is something that she wanted to do, and she just sort of took the bull by the horns and did it. And I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Done this. It's such a feat, and a year of doing it's amazing.
Yeah.
You and I haven't done this segment for a year. We didn't start this, I think, till December.
Mm-hmm.
But all of your interview, I watch and listen every week, and you have some amazing guests on, and some
Thank you.
Some that I cry and some that I laugh. And I think I've said it before, but what I find interesting is, even though this year, this particular these episodes in this year that you've done have been focused very much in a certain direction based on adult children, right? From dysfunction, from alcoholism, and some of it I resonate with, but not everything is necessarily applicable to me.
Yeah.
But what I've realized is, in every episode, something resonates with me.
Mm-hmm.
There's something in it that I walk away with feeling a commonality with that person, or with something that you said about your own experience. And so I might not have had that exact experience, but I certainly remember feeling that way as a child or as a young adult growing up with some of this baggage. And so I think it's really valuable what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's, even though it maybe started geared out towards one specific topic, I feel like I can see that you're already starting to branch out a little bit. But and we can talk more about kind of the direction that you're going to end up going. But I just think it's really valuable that everybody's going to get something from it.
Yeah.
And I think that's really special that you've touched on that. So
well, I get something from every single time I do this, whether it's my own solo episode or all the guests that I've had on. Completely amazing. And I love that Shannon and I do this because I think we've learned so much about each other. We've grown so much in the last year.
Yeah.
And I get something from every single interview. I always think there's a little bit of selfishness in this for me too, because it actually helps me heal more, helps me grow as a person. I'm so moved by people's stories. It's incredible when you start diving into people's stories, and it doesn't all have to be about trauma or, dysfunction and stuff like that. But I think there's a place where it means something when you hear what people have been through, and then you see where they are now and how they've really changed their lives, or they've grown and healed. And some people are just doing incredible things and using that pain as a gift.
Yeah.
And so that they're putting that out there into the world, helping other people. Some people are helping kids. Some people are, inspiring confidence in other women. And yeah,
Mhm.
it's absolutely incredible. So I love having guests on that are full of inspiration.
Yeah, I was gonna say inspiring, that's the word that I would
Yeah.
think of, is
Yeah.
there's people who've overcome, like, amazing, awful things, some of
Yeah.
them, and just what they've done with that and what they've
Hmm.
how they've healed and then turned that around and used that as, like, a superpower
Yeah.
instead of, like, something
Yeah.
that, is a
Or
secret
instead
or
of sitting in that too, or just
Yeah.
staying in that space, because it's kind of like, I think we talked about this before, it's kind of like a book, you can read the pages of your past, but you don't want to stay there because you'll
Yeah.
never know what's going to happen next. Or,
Mhm.
you're not open to embracing possibility and more growth and the incredible things that happen to you when you've dealt with it, and then you're able to move forward.
Yeah.
Right. And that there's something to be said for that too. So
I
just to shout
Oh.
out before we continue, Lakeshore Cafe in totally giving them a plug. And we're
Wait a
not getting paid for this, by
I
the
was
way.
just
But
gonna say, do you know what this reminds me of is when people have like podcasts
yeah.
that and they've got like advertisements and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's like that reminds me of Gold Bond Cream. And they just start, they just start plugging something in the middle. We weren't
Yeah.
planning on that, but this is really good coffee. So yeah,
It is. And I got a
Lakeshore
chai
Cafe.
latte, and it is absolutely delicious.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
yeah,
Uh,
it's really good.
you know what I was gonna say is when you were talking about the inspiration and seeing
Hmm.
people come and kind of what this has meant to you. Like I was thinking about like selfishly, like what this particular thing that we do
Oversharing
has
with
done.
Shannon. Yeah.
Yeah, what it's done for me. And I feel like it's really like forced me to put myself in a vulnerable position,
Mm-hmm.
which is not
Mm-hmm.
something that's comfortable for me.
Yeah.
But it's like it's a guaranteed once a month I'm doing it, and it's like, first of all, it's therapy without the price tag.
Exactly. Let's face it. Free.
It's free. But also it's really forced me to put myself in that place and to like really unpack some of my stuff. And like
Hmm.
a lot of my unpacking and dealing with my things and talking about my stuff has really only happened in the last few years, but it's really amped up with this
Hmm.
because, even when we talk about like, okay, what are we going to talk about next time? I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, and then like maybe sometimes a week before we'll touch base and be like, so have you thought about what we might want to talk about? And often it's like, hey, what have I been like cycling on
Yeah.
in the last like few weeks or whatever? Or,
Yeah.
you know what? Can we talk about female friendships, or can we talk
Yeah.
about, you
Yeah.
know,
This is real life stuff that comes up for
parenting?
us,
And
right?
yeah, so when the real life thing happens, then it's like, okay, this is what I want to talk about on the pod. Like, I
Yeah.
want to like unpack this a little bit.
Yeah.
And so we don't always come in. Most of the time, we don't come in knowing exactly what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
We have the topic. And then where it goes is where it goes.
Sometimes it's a train wreck and it just goes off the
And we're
rails.
just like, hey, land the plane, land the plane. But we do.
I know. And then I go back, and when I'm editing, and I'm like, oh, actually, it sounds really good. And
Sometimes,
in the middle of it, we're like, what the fuck are we
like,
talking
am I
about?
just like going like, are you getting what I'm trying to say? And like at the end of, in fact, I think even maybe the last one, there was
Yeah.
one where I was just like, I don't know what the fuck that was. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I got where I wanted to go. I feel like it did, but I also know I
Yeah.
brought up stuff. There's like, did I talk about sitting on someone's couch? Was that a fever dream?
Yeah. You need to be held.
Held? Like, did I do that?
Yeah,
Did
you
I?
did.
And then we'll go back and I would just be like dreading, like, hey,
Yeah.
was there anything good in what I said, or was I just babbling? And then Krista will be like, you know what? It actually, yeah, like
It
we
worked.
did land the plane. I'm like, excellent. Well,
Yeah, exactly.
anyways, I just have found
Most
it that
fun.
it's been really helpful for me, like psychologically, I think, to deal with a lot of my stuff. And I feel every time we have one, I just feel a little bit of a weight off of me.
Yeah.
And so when I jokingly say it's like therapy, but it is, Krista.
It
Like
is
it's therapy for
100%.
me, and
Yeah.
like God knows I need it. So
Yeah.
if once a month I'm getting therapy, then yeah, I
Yeah.
am. So
And I always think too, like, we've been friends for so long that I look at other best friends and just people out in the wild kind of thing, and I'm like, do they really know each other? Like, how deep do you go with your friends sometimes?
yeah.
And you can be best friends with someone for so long, and until you vocalize it, like you actually say it out loud, and that's what we're doing. We're speaking our stuff out loud. We're not
Mm-hmm.
just typing it in our phone or writing it in a journal or
Mm-hmm.
thinking about it, until you really start saying that stuff out loud, honestly, there's just a depth in people that you don't really get to experience until you do this kind of thing. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, and not saying you have to be in front of a podcast,
No.
but I really encourage friends out there, best friends, to literally, you don't need a camera and a mic. Just sit down and start talking openly about this stuff
Mhm.
because it's so healing for a friendship. It's so
Mhm.
healing as a person
Mhm.
individually. I learned so much about my life,
Yeah.
my connections with other people, and so much about our friendship, right? Like,
And there have been so many epiphany moments in these. Like, we have them anyway, just even when we're
yeah, yeah.
just out for lunch and having these conversations. But there have been moments, like, on camera that something has happened and I've said something and you'd be like, "Well, that's you setting boundaries."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Pardon?
What'd you say?
What? Holy shit, I just set
Yeah.
a boundary." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's just I've had these moments where, yeah, it's been these light bulb moments, and
Yeah.
it's just like, well,
Oh yeah,
there you
me
go.
too. 100%. I
Yeah,
love it.
good stuff.
And I am so grateful and thankful for this like platform to be able to do that. And I hope that
Mhm.
other people listening can just find a space for themselves or with a friend or even just approaching the subject of, hey, can I talk to you about this? Or
Yeah.
can we talk about this stuff? And that opens the door to more and more depth in your relationships and stuff like that. So yeah,
So
I love it.
you know what the kids these days do is they ask, so what was your we would have said like, okay, what was your high and what was your low of something. The kids now
Okay.
are like, what was your rose and what was your thorn?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
if
cool.
you had to like look back on your
Mhm.
year in review, I guess, of
Yeah.
your, when you first started out to now,
Yeah.
I don't just mean the oversharing with
Yeah,
Shannon, but
yeah.
I mean just in general, like what would you say the rose is?
Oh, just what I've learned from people, like being able to experience their energy and
Mm-hmm.
their story and to find that common thread of empathy and connection with people.
Mm-hmm.
And my compassion has been heightened so much. Not that I wasn't a compassionate person before, but I really think my listening skills have like exponentially grown for sure. So listening intently and being in the moment with that person and really listening to what they're saying, because of my programming and some of the stuff is I can be really in my head.
Mm.
And before, I was so worried about what I was going to say. And if I
So
was
you're
going to
already
say the thing right,
planning the
I
next
wasn't
thing
listening
instead
because
of being
that's right.
present.
And
Yeah.
so this has really forced me to learn to be present with
Mhm.
myself and with other
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
And I absolutely love it because curiosity is such a gift. You learn so much more when you are
Mhm.
genuinely curious about other people.
Yeah.
And
Would you say that there's a thorn?
oh yeah, like
What's the thorn, would you
um
say, this year? I mean, I know it's all been so positive and it's been
yeah, it's
so,
all
but,
really
like, if there was
positive.
something that is a thorn or maybe something that you would wanna change or work on or
um So the thorn is that this is really a passion project for me. I am looking at ways at monetizing and trying to like get more listeners and all that kind of stuff and build up, what I have. And that does take time and I'm being patient. And it can be time consuming. Editing is a lot and I do it all myself. And although I get a lot out of it because I get to listen to that conversation a few times before
yeah.
it actually goes out. So I really get to know people. Even I hear things I may not have heard on the interview and I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome." Like when
Yeah.
you re-listen to things, there's value in that. And it doesn't matter if you've heard it once because you could be at a different space a few weeks later in your life, a different energy, and you will pick up on something else. So I
Mhm.
love that about it. One other thing that I think is definitely getting better, my judgment level on myself. Like, did I ask enough questions? Did I do good in this interview? Or, you know what I mean? So I have to always keep that in check and realize that I just have to show up as myself and everything
It's a
yeah,
conversation. It doesn't
exactly.
have to be
And even
orchestrated
though my
or
hair is out of
controlled.
place or whatever's going on today with this funky mess,
It's
it
okay.
doesn't matter. Like,
Whatever. Yeah,
nobody
this morning we're
cares.
just like, I'm wearing leggings. I'm wearing a
Exactly.
hoodie.
We're just
And
showing
this
up
is
as
holiday. This
ourselves.
is holiday hair. Like
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. Yeah. So that's the rose and the thorn, I
Yeah, that's
guess.
good.
Yeah.
So okay, sorry. I'm like interviewing you
Yeah, I know.
kind of because I jotted down a few things that I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
So we already kind of touched on like how it started, how it's going,
Yeah.
right? Because I mean, I think it's going great, and
Yeah,
I
I
think
do
you're
too.
doing a
Yeah.
great job.
Thank you.
Now that this year is sort of in the bag, what do you see, or where do you see it
Um,
going? Or
you know what? I really just love hearing other people's stories, and I'm going to continue to do just that. I do want to put a little bit different spin on it, and sometimes the trauma stuff can be pretty heavy.
Mm.
And although I think there's value in talking about that, and there certainly is, I really want to bring a little bit more inspiration. So
Mhm.
everyone goes through their stuff for sure. And I don't think that a lot's going to change, but I think just some of the language and the wording is going to change on my
Yeah.
episodes, right? So it's not like I don't want to talk about adult children of alcoholism, addiction, dysfunction, and all that kind of stuff. There's value in that, and that's part of me, right? It's not who I am, but it's definitely part of me, and it is part of other people, and we don't want to just push that under the rug and forget about it. And I did have an interview with a lady who's coming up in a few weeks, and she kind of made a point too, and she said, it's not that I don't want to talk about what happened to me, in whatever situation she was in, abuse or addiction or whatever. And she said, but I feel like there's a part of me that has dealt with that so much and grown so much that what I'm attracting more is so much light
Mhm.
and so much more inspiration. There's so
Mhm.
many people in business that I'd like to interview that
Mhm.
have had tough childhoods or traumatic events happen,
Mhm.
but they've done such incredible things in their life,
Mhm.
Um, and like one person I always go back to is Neil, and I interviewed him on this, and he touched my heart so much. Whoops.
We both, yeah.
Yeah, and we both know
Yeah.
Neil, and so when I think of what he's doing now in his
Incredible.
life is so incredible,
Yeah.
and
So
so I
proud of him.
so
Like,
proud of him. Shout out Neil because I know you
shout
watch.
out to Neil.
And
Like we knew Neil when he was
yeah,
young and goofy and fun and
yeah,
the party guy and whatever. And
yeah,
it's so interesting to look back at that
hmm
with a different lens now, knowing what his
totally.
life was. And I
Yeah,
just wouldn't
yeah.
talk about inspirational
Yeah,
person.
so just
And
inspiration like that, and
yeah.
all of my guests have been inspirational, but I think there's moments of inspiration inside of everyone, and I'd
Mhm.
really like to tap a little bit more into that,
And you
and
know what, Krista? I feel like that's what you're doing. I
yeah, I
think like
do too.
maybe
I do too.
because like for you, you're on the receiving end of a lot of really heavy stories and stuff.
Yeah,
And so
maybe.
maybe it has felt that there's a lot of focus on the heavier,
Mhm.
but as a viewer, I don't
Yeah.
feel that.
Okay. Good
You
to know.
right? I don't feel that.
Yeah.
I definitely some of those stories are like, oh, like
Heart-wrenching, but
heart-wrenching.
so good.
But also, it's never like, "Yeah, and that's my sad tale. Well, thanks for coming out."
Yeah,
Do
no,
you know what I
no,
mean? It's
no.
never that. It's always, "This is my story.
Yeah.
This is what I've done with it, and
Yeah.
this is how I have turned that around to," again, like, as
Yeah.
Neil would say, like, "be a superpower," or, turn it into positivity and turn it into light and turn it into inspiration and
Mhm.
giving back and all of that. And I don't think there's even one exception. Like,
No,
every
there's
guest
not.
you've
Every
had,
guest, yeah.
somebody has, that's
Yeah.
where they've gone with it. And so I feel like you're already doing it, and I think
Yeah.
you just want to do more of that and just really want to shine a bigger light on
Yeah.
how they have turned things around, which I think is
Yeah.
amazing, right?
I
So
think what I really wanted to get at, and it just come to me as you were saying that, is that when I put it out there that I am looking for guests to come on, I think there is a little bit of a stigma, maybe not stigma, but there's like maybe a label, and they don't feel like they fit into
like
that
an
label.
assumption that this
An
isn't for them.
assumption. That's
Yeah.
right. And so they don't feel like they can apply to be on my show. And that is absolutely not the case. And I think that's where the little shift comes
Mm,
in for me is I really want to attract people who think, well, I'm not an adult child of an alcoholic, so that show is not for
right.
me. And that is absolutely not what I'm doing here. I don't want to limit myself. I want people to understand that we all have a story. You don't have to come from alcoholism or addiction. we all have a story and we all just want to be seen and heard.
Yeah.
And I know that people who are doing great things in their life, there is a little story there. And whether you tell it or not, or just touch on it, there is a place on this show for you,
Yeah.
for sure. Because if you're putting your authentic self into the world and you're doing great things in business and science or whatever the case may be, I definitely want to hear about that. And I know there's other people that
Mhm.
want to hear, because it's only one thing that you say that could resonate with another person. And it doesn't have to be about ACOAs. It doesn't have to be about trauma. But one thing could resonate, and you could be giving that person just that little bit of hope or light or inspiration to maybe start their own business or maybe do something in another realm.
Yeah.
Like I just want to invite so many more people onto the show, right? That don't, if you don't think you're a fit, you probably are,
Yeah.
right? And so I think that's kind of where I was going with the new spin,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had a moment of like it almost ties in with the other thing we were talking about, which is community.
Yes.
It's we're all of the same community. We're
Yes.
all of a community that has been through something, whatever
Mhm.
that might be, and are healing and are turning it
Mhm.
around to make a positive mark in the world.
Yeah.
And like that's what it's all about in the
Yeah.
end, right? And I feel like that's
100%.
kind of where I see you going with it. I can
Yeah.
already see your trajectory going that way, and I think just
Yeah.
keep on keeping on. Like I think it's,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, like I'm really just kind of starting a new venture in the other side of my business, which, my podcast is part of business, but I'm also a coach,
Mhm.
and I'm kind of dabbling in a little bit of not just like lifestyle coaching or wellness coaching, but a little bit of business coaching. Because I just have this, like, I'm really drawn to idea creation and like, or idea generation, and just being so creative. A creative side of me comes out when I'm in community with women, especially, and in business, and we're all new in business, or
Mhm.
we're struggling. And I find that as I get together with other women in groups, it's like my idea center just turns
Just
on.
firing off.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I start firing, and so I really want to bring a little bit more of that into what I talk about. And so there'll be stuff coming up eventually. Like I'm just working on some stuff right now with another lady, and yeah, it's really exciting too. So I'm super excited about that. Plus, she took new pictures of me, so all of my stuff is going to start changing like
Nice.
pictures.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So they turned out really good. Shout out to Sheila Bell.
Shout out Sheila.
And yeah, so just little changes like that with
Mhm.
me and my business. So you might hear a little bit more about that on the podcast too. And
Well, that answers my
and
next question. It was gonna be, so what do you got going on
oh yeah,
that you might wanna plug?
and I just did. Look
You
at
just
me
did
get
it.
ahead of the game. Yeah, that's it. So I've
Yeah.
got some new stuff coming up. We're just working on like a group coaching business, or some like webinars or workshops, like online workshops and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So that kind of combines like wellness and business together, right? Because there's
Yeah.
so many women our age
Mhm.
who are like empty nesters, or their kids are grown now and stuff, and so they're wondering like, what's next for me? And a lot of women our age start businesses. Like they start their
Oh.
own little businesses, which is fantastic, but they don't know where to turn because there's so much information out there and
Yeah.
there's so much going on. And so just in the coaching group that I'm in, that's what's coming up, is how else can I help someone else, right?
Yeah.
And so I've kind of partnered with another lady, and we're going to we're creating some stuff that's going to come out in the
Cool.
next few months. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I
That's
really like
cool.
it. But I
Yeah.
still do coaching too. So um if you ever, want to pick my brain or want me to ask you open-ended questions, I'm all up for that.
Nice. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I still do that in the side, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, and my son got married a couple weeks ago, and it was absolutely like I was so in my heart space. It was so beautiful to see him, and I did talk about this last week on the podcast, but it was so beautiful to see like the power of community, the power of the family
Mhm.
that loves you and supports you,
Mhm.
and what happens when you open up and are honest about your journey,
Mm-hmm.
right? And my son has been very open with his journey, and his family, his community, the place he works for, like, oh my God, everyone come out in full force that
Mm-hmm.
night.
Mm-hmm.
And the speeches were great, and it was just like, it was tears, and yeah. And I just took a moment to sit back and like watch it all, and all these people, and everyone was so positive and happy and loving and so supportive for him and
Mm-hmm.
his family and his
Mm-hmm.
wife, and it was all so beautiful, and so yeah, congratulations for that.
Yeah,
And yeah, it
congratulations.
was so awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, and my girls looked absolutely gorgeous
Yeah. Can
too.
I
Yeah.
also point out one other thing? Something that we talked about in our last episode together was about, I don't even remember how we got on the topic, but it was about, oh, I think we were talking friendships, right?
Oh yeah.
We were talking about how, when divorce comes, the loss of friendship comes,
Hmm.
the loss of connection to in-laws and
Yeah,
all of
yeah.
that. And that's kind of a hard pill to swallow and everything.
Hmm.
And, when Krista was telling me about this wedding and how beautiful it was, some of the things that she was talking about, it just was, we kind of brought it back around, and it was like
Yeah.
things that you thought you didn't have anymore, connections or
Yeah.
friendships or whatever. And of course, they look different than they
Yeah.
used to, but
100%.
it's still there. There's still kindness
Yeah.
there, and there's still making sure that you've felt love
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
that, and that you felt that you're still part of the bigger
The extended
umbrella,
family.
the
Yeah.
extended
Yeah.
family. And I
Yeah.
think that was
100%.
probably healing for you too, to
Very
realize,
much.
you
Yeah.
know what, it's
Yeah.
actually not what I thought,
Yeah.
which I think
Yeah.
is really good
Yeah.
too.
That was, yeah. Thank you for bringing tears to
Yeah,
my eyes.
sorry. That's what I do.
That's right.
Anyways, well,
Yeah.
so cheers to you.
Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah,
And happy
congratulations.
birthday to Becoming
Happy
Sound
birthday, Becoming
and
Sound.
everyone who has made this possible.
Yeah.
For my VA, who I absolutely love her. She is like the bomb. And her name is Kelsey, and she makes sure that shit gets out when it's supposed to get out. And
Yeah.
so she's awesome. And yeah, just all the people who've been supportive. My hubby at home, and all of my kids and everyone who's been supportive, and Shannon, of course, because she's one of like my rock. So thank you so much to everyone and all of the listeners, because honestly, I'm so grateful for you. So thank you so much for listening. And if you are listening, please hit the follow button, because that really helps get my podcast ratings up, and it helps get the information out to more people, right? So if you see the clips online, like and share them. Always sharing stuff is so helpful. If you feel the call to leave a rating or review for me on Apple or Spotify or on YouTube, we're also on YouTube, so you can watch this mess of a situation go on once a month. But yeah, just, follow, share, pass it on to people that you love. I'd be so grateful for that. And I'm so grateful for everyone. So thank you.
Yeah.
And happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. So should we go to the beach?
We should go to the beach.
People
We're not going
watch.
shopping today. We're going to the beach. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, come on.
To
We'll
people
probably
watch.
shop a little bit.
We might.
We pass the store. Whatever.
Awesome.
But
So
yeah.
thank you so much for joining us today. And every week and every month that you join me, I really appreciate it. And I look forward to another amazing year of incredible guests and fun times with Shannon and everything else. So yeah. Yeah.
Yay.
Thank you.
Love you, buddy.
I love you too.
Okay. Congratulations.
Have a great day, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me today on another episode of Becoming Sound. If this episode resonated with you in some way, please share it with someone you care about. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It helps to get this information out to more people who may need it. If you have a sec, I would love a follow on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. While you're there, hit the 5-star rating and give me a review. When you're scrolling, follow me on my social platforms, and I would love to hear your comments and feedback. Have a fabulous day, lots of love and gratitude from me. Please note, the views, information, and opinions expressed during the Becoming Sound podcast series are solely those of the individuals involved. The content of this podcast is to educate, inform, and for entertainment purposes only. This podcast series and the content presented does not constitute for medical or other professional advice or services. If you are in crisis or in need of help, please contact your medical or professional provider.